Would you look at that? It's gorgeous. Oh boy, I must be getting ready for freezer meals. I know the house will smell good for sure. I am working on today the crock-pot lasagna. I'm going to show you how to do that. I also have 4 aluminum pans here for 4 pounds of lasagna, 4 containers of 32 ounces of ricotta cheese, 2 32-ounce bags of shredded mozzarella, and I have more bricks of mozzarella here, 32 ounces and a pound, so 16 ounces. Some eggs, and I made gravy the other day for this purpose. This is what's left over. I have a little container in the fridge, so if I need more. And I got this big aluminum bowl to mix the cheeses in together. And I gotta grab some seasonings, like Italian seasoning and parsley out of the cupboard. So I'm not gonna put a lot of eggs in. I like our lasagna very creamy, but I'm gonna add a couple of eggs in. So, like I said, I'm gonna share with you how to make the lasagnas without even cooking your noodles. And you wanna know something? I've never done this before, but I know it's gonna work because I've seen others do it. So I didn't grab the oven ready lasagna noodles. I don't know if they're already cooked a little. I have no idea. It's really weird. But I figured this is gonna be fine. As long as you use enough sauce to cover this, they're gonna do well. So we're gonna put layers of this with the cheese and sauce in the crock pot and also in the pan. So what I need to do first is start on the cheese mixtures and get them in this bowl. I'm really excited to do this today, you guys. I get stressed out when I cook like this because I know I have to evaluate my time, my schedule, make sure the kitchen's ready, that part, shopping for all of that can be so stressful. But once it's time, I am so excited. Oh my gosh. I love ricotta cheese. And of course, use any recipe that you have that you love. I know a lot of people like cottage cheese in their cheese mixture. I'm not one of those. I like straight up ricotta and mozzarella. Oh, and I am gonna put some Parmigiano Reggiano in here. What do I have? I thought I had a brick of it, but I don't. So here's 2 more containers of sauce that was from leftovers. So I have that. So I'm just gonna put some of this Parmesan. I wish it was Reggiano in there, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So let's add all our cheeses, and then I'll add some herbs and seasonings in. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt. Just a little. The cheese has salt in it, but I'm just putting a little. Parsley. I don't measure, you guys, so I'm just kind of putting it in there, whatever. The rest of what I do have in here are the Italian seasonings. I need to go to Costco, but I'm staying away from Costco right now. And I do have this little container of Italian seasonings, and then I'm just gonna put some garlic powder in. This is something my mom doesn't do, but you can never go wrong with the garlic flavor ever. All right, and then I'm gonna put some Parmesan cheese in here. Beautiful. This is when if you got a big strong man in your house, you can grab him. But I want to work my old lady arm. So I am going to start mixing all this together the best that I can. All right, I am now going to be adding 4 eggs into here. 1 for each container of ricotta. And you're probably thinking, why didn't you just do that when you're mixing the cheeses? I don't know. For some reason, I feel like this will go, like mix better. I don't know. Now, when I make my Lazy Man lasagna, I don't put eggs in it. I really love a runny cheese with the macaroni. But I guess with the lasagna, it does need to set up just a little bit more than that. You know, you want You don't want your lasagna falling apart on you. So, I mean, put as many eggs as you want in it. Follow your recipe. But I'm just gonna do, I think, 4. That's all in there. Look at all that yummy cheese. Oh, it's gonna be so good. For the lasagna, this time I decided to put some ground beef. You can use ground pork or sausage, but I already had a pound and a half already thawed out in my refrigerator, so we're gonna use this up. So I have the beef here. Okay, I'm gonna add some of my gravy, or if you guys call it tomato sauce, to the beef. Mix that in. Use whatever sauce you like. Now let's go layer this lasagna. I sprayed my crock pot with some cooking spray. Just putting some sauce down at the bottom. Now again, you want to use a lot of sauce in this so your noodles will cook. All right, there's a good layer. So I'm going to use this whole pound of lasagna noodles uncooked. We're gonna put a layer down at the bottom. Now you're gonna probably have to break these, of course, to fit. If you have made lasagna like this, what are some suggestions that you could give us to do this? Okay, I'm gonna add layers of cheese. That's probably a lot of cheese. I don't know, I love cheese, so we're just gonna do this. A layer of the meat sauce in. Right now I'm adding another one of these containers of sauce to my meat sauce, okay? And then we're gonna do the noodles again. Maybe I'll just do it this way, what do you think? I bet you guys were yelling at the screen, do it the other way. I heard you. I'm gonna try this way. It's all gonna get cut into, right? So does it really matter? Probably not. I don't know. You guys, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna do this. The thing is, you just gotta do it, try it, see what works. But if you have done this before, please leave your awesome tips and advice down below. Could you imagine throwing this in the morning, cook it on low, you come home from work and you've got a lasagna ready? You rock, right? Probably putting too much of all the other stuff in here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Gonna top it with some mozzarella cheese, and we're gonna cook this on high for 4 to 6 hours, and then we're gonna see what we got, folks. Here we go. See what happens. It's on high. I've got 3 pans here. I don't know if I need to spray them since I'm freezing them, but let's just do it to be safe. And always wash them before you use them. These ones are not gonna have the meat sauce in them. I'm just gonna go and just do good old sauce. And I'm not going light on the sauce in these because, not like it's super heavy, but because we want this sauce to help cook the noodles, because we're not cooking the noodles. And then with the moisture from being frozen, that will help too. Now, I will be putting all 3 in the freezer, and then I will take one out and cook it frozen, just like if I had pulled out like a name brand frozen lasagna, and see how well it cooks up. And I know this works, people do it, but we'll see if it works for me. And if this is the case, oh my gosh, talk about saving steps. Now, would this also work for stuffed manicotti or stuffed shells? I don't know. Have you guys done it? Will you let me know down below? All right, now I'm gonna start layering the lasagnas. haven't made lasagna in a long time. I didn't need to put that last layer of ricotta on, but oh well. It'll be cheesy and delicious, the top. If I had another box of lasagna, I would just put another layer on, but I don't, so whatever. It's all gonna be delicious. It's all gonna be good. It'll just have a very cheesy top. How do you layer it? What do you do? I've just been making Lazy Man lasagna over the years. I haven't done this layering stuff. And I've been making eggplant parmesan, but I don't remember how I'd end up doing the top, but what do you do? So I ended up using all that gravy, all that sauce, and now I use 2 bottles of the Bertolli. So I went through a lot of sauce, but my gravy is thick, you guys. And yes, it's called gravy. Look it up. But I did, but my sauce, whatever you want to call it, is very thick. It's very thick. All right, I'm just gonna top these with some mozzarella cheese. Well, it looks like I'm not gonna need to shred any of those block cheeses, which is good. This is just very cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. Yum, yum, yum. I'm gonna cover these up with aluminum foil, mark what they are, and get them in the freezer. And then in a couple of days, when one is fully frozen, I will share with you, I'll film it so you could see how it turned out. All right, right now I don't have any labels for these. I'm gonna have to print out some. So I'm just gonna write on here what it is, the cooking time and all that. 400 degrees, frozen, 2 to 2.5 hours. Cooking time, if it's thawed, it'll be half that. Lasagna. This recipe, I'm following the temperature off of this one recipe I was looking at online. What temperature would you guys put? I would really like to know. Now, if you noticed, I sprayed the first thing of aluminum foil with olive oil to prevent sticking. Cover this when cooking. I'm gonna get these in the freezer, and then in a few days I'll take one out and share it with you. Okay, I need to do some organizing here in this freezer, but I want to show you what I did. I have one at the bottom, a cutting board on top, with another one on top of that. So we're not adding any extra pressure, just on the sides here, it'll be fine. And then I have another one here. So I'm gonna let those do its thing, and we'll test it out in a few days. All right, here it is. From the looks of it, it looks like the noodles are cooked. But let's take a bite and see. This has been cooking for about 4.5 hours actually, and the recipe says 4 to 6 hours. Let's take a bite and see how these noodles are. Oh my word, they are cooked perfect. You guys, use the regular lasagna noodles. You don't need to use the oven ready, especially if you can't get a hold of them. This worked, you guys. Make lasagna before you go to work. All right, friends, slow cooker lasagna. It worked. I'm not worried about my freezer meals now. I know they're gonna come out great. So good. So good. It's so good, you guys. Give it a try. Okay, friends, it's been a few days and we're gonna have lasagna for dinner. The oven has been preheated to 400 degrees. We're gonna cook for 2.5 hours. If you guys remember, I double wrapped this. So now we're just gonna cook it in this. This is fully frozen. This guy is, look at that. Look how this is fully frozen. But I am going to tent up this aluminum foil just a bit, like all the other frozen lasagnas, what they say. So we're going to still keep this covered, but we're going to let the air go through just some of it. All right, so it's up higher. So I'm going to get this in the oven and let it do its thing. Okay, this has been 2 hours. I'm gonna put a fork in the middle and see how we're doing. Okay, I went in the middle and I pulled out a lot of cheese. It's warm but not piping hot, so I'm gonna let this, gosh, it hasn't been 2.5 hours, it's been 2 hours. So I'm gonna let this go for another 15 minutes and we'll see where we're at. Here it is, it's all done. I did 2.5 hours and it's perfect, but I almost lost it, you guys. Kids heard me swear. You gotta be really careful with your aluminum pans. And these aren't the cheap dollar store ones. This one is one I got at Walmart, but as I was taking it out, it was like, oh, anyway, it would have been a huge mess. So just be careful, but it is done. It's piping hot. So let's dig into this and see how it looks. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Would you look at that? It's gorgeous. All right, let's see if the noodles are soft. They look good. Let's see. Noodles are perfect. Okay, friends, you don't need to boil your lasagna noodles when freezing, at least. I don't know. Definitely don't do this. I don't think when cooking normally. So, but when turned into a freezer meal, they're perfect. This is a perfect bite. So there you go, guys. It can be done. Enjoy. How did you have time to make this lasagna, go to work, do all that you do? That's what your guests will be saying. You're like, oh, it was easy. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any tips for me, please leave them down below and we'll see you later. Bye.